Game tickets are available again. We're gonna take a small break from Vidya for a minute. I need to just chill for a second. You know, I want to check in. Song request is still active, but I want to check in. How are you? How are you doing, chat? How are you feeling today? Where's your energy at?
Hey, boss.
Hey, boss. I love it, dude. I love it. It's so fun. GG. Yeah, $700 for the console. I know, man. I couldn't. I wouldn't swing it. I could, but I wouldn't. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I thought it was cool. Like, if you don't have a PlayStation 5 already, like my response would normally be like, if you don't have a PlayStation 5 already, go for it. Pick up the Pro. But like, it's so much more expensive than the PS5 now. And I guess you could guarantee you could lock in at like 60 FPS, right? On high graphics settings and stuff. Like, that's cool. But if you want to do that already, you'd probably just end up being better off building your own rig, you know? Especially for that price point. Like, you could start building up something pretty nice. And it'd take you a little bit further than just the console would, I think. But like, I don't know, if you're a console player, like I'm primarily a console player. I like nice fidelity and like good performance in the hardware and stuff like that. But it's not something I really geek out over. It's not something that I'm just like, wow, I need to have like the next little edge where I can get like 65 FPS instead of 60, or like I need to be running at 120 FPS. Like, yeah, I'm not worried about that kind of stuff. Really, it doesn't make a difference to me all that much. 60 and 30 makes a difference to me, and we're in a nice place with where the consoles currently are, where I'm just like, cool, that's all I need, you know. So I feel like a lot of people who are playing on consoles are kind of in that space where they're just like, as long as the games are really playable, they look really nice, they perform fairly well, then like that's enough. Otherwise, you're doing other stuff. You're a different type of person if you're looking for like peak performance. You're probably not a console player, right? It didn't let you update the game either. Why is that happening? Super Fitspot, why are you broken? This is why we can't have nice things. Okay, I'll get us updated. So, we got trivia coming up in about an hour and 15 minutes, everybody. It's almost that time already. Can you believe it? If you don't know what I'm talking about, Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts themed trivia happens on Wednesday during Guild for the Koopa. We've unlocked all of them already. So every Wednesday during this event, we'll be doing trivia. And it's really easy to join in. Basically, you're going to see the game on the stream. And you're going to have a QR code that you can scan with your phone if you're on mobile or if you're on web. And if you're on mobile, there'll be a link that you can jump into. We're using Kahootit. And that's all you really have to do. You put your name in there or whatever your username you want it to be. And then we will just play the game. There's 20 questions. And if you answer correctly and you answer fast, you get more points. So whoever comes out on top is going to be featured in our first winners bracket in the podium here on our overlay. And that'll stay for the duration of the event. And then we'll have our second trivia game next Wednesday, and the third the Wednesday following that. There should be a pretty good time. Whether you know much about Kingdom Hearts or Final Fantasy, it's fine. Even if you don't know anything about it, feel free to play. You can just take a shot in the dark. You know, you might be surprised. You know, you got a 1 in 4 shot of picking the right answer. Them's not bad odds, you know. Fitzbot should get fired. He should be tossed into the fire tornadoes, man. Good gravy. He's been so ornery today, you know? I think it's really aimed at people wanting to play on 4K TVs at 60. And I totally get that. I mean, I picked up a 4K TV for this generation of gaming. And like, honestly, like at that time, I think that it was just like 1440p that was supported by the PS5, which still looks fantastic to me. I don't know. 4K stuff looks awesome. I think it's really really cool. But I was surprised at how satisfied I was with just 1440. And I think I can sit there. You know, I can sit there. That might be where I stay for most of this generation. Games are in an interesting place, like technically speaking, where like we've plateaued from like not a performance standpoint, but like a visual standpoint. Like we can make environments and we can make games more dense, with more assets, and then that will demand, a more powerful hardware to be able to render all that stuff at the same time. So we can do more of that. But like visually speaking, I think that we're not seeing like the sharp incline in visual fidelity that we were between like PS2, PS3, PS3, PS4, right? Where those were like pretty drastic jumps. The jump from PS4 to PS5 wasn't all that large. It was mostly just in like, okay, what resolution can we run games at? The Unreal Engine becoming what it was, like that thing blew up, and like the current iteration of Unreal is unreal. It's really amazing. But that is something that you're not always seeing visually, but you feel it when you're playing, right? Um, and then that has impacted the indie space quite a lot, which is cool. Like indie games are very impressive right now. It's kind of like that Unreal Engine just evened the playing field a lot, which is really really cool. But I'm not having the same thing where I'm like looking at a game and I'm just like, holy crap, I can't believe this is the space that we're in right now where games look this good, like I was the past two generations. I'm still like, holy crap, this looks amazing, but like I expect it, because that's just where we've been for a long time now. And I think there's something really cool about that, We can focus on different aspects of gaming now and not worry so much about the superficial that is still exciting. Don't get me wrong. But I love playing a game that I'm just like, as I'm playing it, I'm just like, wow, this is really fun to play. And I'm not expecting it to be as fun as it is for the reasons that it's fun. Kind of like Nier Automata when it came out. That game was so fun to play. Yeah, I haven't reactivated the game tickets yet. They will be active soon. We're just gonna chill for a minute though, and hang out for a few. Pretty much everything has an option for 60 FPS, even if you don't get 4K. And even then, who realistically has a 4K screen? Well, I do now. I don't know that I've really like taken full advantage of it though, to be honest. I guess I could if I like hooked my computer up to it. I have watched some movies in 4K and they look fantastic. And that has been a treat, especially animation, dude. It looks awesome in 4K. Animation's so cool. But yeah, I haven't taken full advantage of the display. I think I just got it because I wanted to be like ready for whatever the new norm was gonna be for a while. Because I don't really buy new TVs very often. Maybe like once every 6 or 7 years, SW says, honestly, it doesn't make a big difference to me, but I really do regret buying a laptop for classes that was so battery focused, it doesn't have much of a GPU. I didn't believe that many games would be coming my way with accessibility, and then the universe was like, oh, hello, now that you have made this choice, here's everything you will miss. That is such a tragedy, dude. I'm so sorry that that's how it turned out. Oh, man. I haven't gamed on a laptop in a good, like, 8 or 9 years. How many people game on a laptop? I know that they've gotten pretty dang beefy these days. But in my head, it just like doesn't compute that that's a device that I can use to play games for very long on. And then of course I run into people that's primarily what they use to play games. All my life I've gamed on a laptop, says Clyde. See, that's brain breaking for me. That's amazing. That's amazing. I think it's because whenever I've had laptops, they have not been very good. I tried to play games on them and it broke them. And that's been my main experience with trying to game on a laptop. I've never bought a laptop intended to play video games, though. So I mean, I guess that's to be expected. Heck yeah, Taka. Welcome back. What food do you bear? I sometimes turn down quality or other options anyway to make it easier on me, says SW. So it running at 60 is more important than, oh my god, wow, graphics. I feel the same. I feel wholly the same. I love running stuff at 60 FPS. I feel it when it's at 30. I have like to desensitize myself to it now. If I go back to 30 FPS for like graphic settings, which I've done with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, because there's one of the technically impressive things about that game to me is just how much it renders at one time. It's actually amazing to me just how much is on the screen, dude. Like the environments are so dense. I just can't believe how many assets I'm looking at sometimes. And especially at like such a long draw distance. It's wild to me. And so I do enjoy that aspect of that game so much, but that's a world that I've wanted to see like brought to life in a big way as well for a long time. So that's a big reason why I've switched it on for that. But even like Final Fantasy 16, like I might have turned it on once or twice, but I run that game at performance mode because the 60 FPS, especially for an action game, just, man, it feels great. Feels great. And in Rebirth, it also feels great. It feels so much more fun to play and so much more smooth of an experience in performance mode than it does in graphics mode to me. Like, I feel like when I look at that game in graphics mode, I can see the stutter. But that's because most of what I play now is in 60 FPS. That's always been more important to me than resolution. Oh no, Garrett ran out of gil. Oh my god. Man, this song's a bop too. Drink! I like that we've come back to like a mid-tempo in the song requests here. This is cool. Who told me to drink? Garrett! Thanks, buddy. I appreciate you. Man. How'd you guys feel about us gaming with Clyde and Garrett and Taka? I don't know about you, but I had a great time. I had a really fun time. I would definitely be up to do it again. I laugh a lot when I'm here, but haven't laughed that much in a game session in a hot minute. It was pretty awesome. Drink democracy. It tastes like freedom. Oh, yeah. Tastes like a giant flag stuffed into the craniums of my enemies. I really think the mini PC, which is basically laptop hardware with better cooling, is fascinating. Mini PCs are really cool. Just the form factor of them is really neat to think about. Some gaming laptops now are genuinely better than your average PC. It's bananas. Yeah, but there was one that my friend got. They were actually, he called it renting, because he had ordered a Steam Deck, right? And he went on the road. He was going to go on the road for work, but the Steam Deck got delayed in its delivery. So he went to Best Buy, and they have like a trial or a 30-day return policy or 2-week return policy. I don't remember what it was. Some sort of return policy where like you can buy tech, and then within that time frame you can just return it for a full refund. So since he didn't get his Steam Deck, they went and got a gaming laptop, and that thing was bad. It was awesome. It was killer, dude. Way better than my PC. And then whenever they got done with that work trip, they just took it back because their Steam Deck came in. I was like, that's so brilliant. That's such a smart move. But I was surprised, man. That's whenever I saw Helldivers 2 for the first time, actually, because they were playing that. It was fun to watch them play that. SW said for sure, but honestly, I've been basically expecting to be homeless at any time for the last several years, so the idea of buying a PS5 or desktop is just like, ugh, one more thing I'd have to find a way to take care of. Man, I seriously hope that you get to step away from that part of your life sooner rather than later. SW. That's like you're at a point now where I'm sure that this is just like how you expect things to be and how you expect to feel. You've become like accustomed to that feeling, but like that's you're like you're like ready to go at a moment's notice, and that's stressful, man. That's stressful on the body and on the mind. And I hope that you feel not just find the security that you're looking for, but feel secure once you're able to find that too. That's a tough thing, man. I grew up poor. My mom was, always trying to take care of the both of us with very, very little. And so I grew used to that feeling really early. Um, you know, often being like, I don't know what we're gonna eat in the next day. You know what I mean? Um, and my mom did really good. Like I always ate, but my mom didn't always eat. And we had to move around a lot for a while until we finally found some stability. So that's a feeling that has been pretty distressing, man. Um, and even when you get away from it, it's hard to like let it go too. My mom's in such a good place now, by the way, and I'm in a pretty good place now too. But we both still talk about like, isn't it weird how like we feel like something's gonna go wrong? Like we still save up money and like I still have like cash in my home for some reason, and like I'm just prepared. Like I am afraid to accumulate stuff too. Like I have collectibles and things that I've gotten over the years. So I've gotten a little bit better at that. But there's a lot of times where I'm just like, I don't need that. I don't need that. I won't buy it. I would really like it. It would enrich my life in some way, but I don't need it. So I'm not going to get that. I'm always making that decision. And it's been really good for my finances. But there's a lot of times where I'm just like, I think about it and I'm like, man, I'm okay. I'm okay. Nothing's going to happen to me that I can't handle right now. But my survival mechanism hasn't fully caught up yet to that. It's weird, dude. You got an Asus ROG Zephyrus. That sounds awesome. I don't know how great that is technically speaking, but it sounds awesome. That sounded condescending. I did not mean it that way. I'm just ignorant. Oh my god, Taco got fried rice. Did you get like 6,000 pounds of fried rice? Man, it's possible, SW. It's possible, man. Being in it for so long, I know how impossible it can seem and how okay with the idea that it's not possible you can become. Not that you're ever fully okay with it, but at some level you just sort of just accept that this is how it is, which sucks, but it's part of what we got to do to get through it sometimes, but it can get better. You can find your footing again. Add in 4 minutes. Thanks for the heads up, Reeps. Damn, this... The Riz. Oh, this is king. Damn, SW. You outdid yourself with this request, man. The guitar rocks. It has a little dotted screen thingy on the front. You can put text and animations on it. What? Oh, do you mean like it has like a secondary display with like is it like a touch screen almost kind of hotkey thing or what? That sounds cool as heck. Oh, okay. I'm trying to visualize here. I'm thinking about like, how those laptops for a while would come out with those like touch sensitive sliders for like your volume and stuff like that was just like at the top of your keyboard. I'm picturing something like that almost. Mongolian said, honestly, learning to live off less than enough has been more helpful for me than anything. It sucked to have to deal with that, but now that times are getting tougher for everyone, I feel a lot less affected by the way things are going of late than many others I know. Yeah, I have felt that way too. Everyone talks about how messed up the economy is and how like inflation has gotten really bad, and it has. We're in a rough space in the states right now for sure, as far as that's concerned. Um, I'm only really reminded of it though when like I do things out of character. Like, okay, here's an example. We went to go see my brother-in-law get married last weekend, right? Which the wedding was beautiful. It was at the Constitution Center in Philadelphia, which is where they just held the presidential debate that took place last night. So that was really interesting to like be there for the wedding and then 2 days later or 3 days later watch presidential candidates sort of duke it out. It was really surreal. Be like, oh, we were just standing up there. We ate up there. We danced up there. You know, that's kind of cool. But that aside, we were taking that trip, right? And so we stopped at a gas station before we left town to fill up. And I hadn't had a chance to eat before we left. So I was like, damn, I'm like so hungry. And so I ran inside and I was like, I'm just going to grab a couple snacks and there'll be like road snacks and then maybe something to munch on for later at the hotel. I grabbed a bag of Chex Mix and a bag of jerky, which I already know jerky's expensive. That's just like one of the most expensive snacks, and leave it to me for that to be my favorite snack. All my favorite things are stupidly expensive for some reason. I don't know how my tastes have fallen that way, but it's always been that way. So I got a bag of jerky and a bag of Chex Mix. And I walked out of there paying I think it was like $15 and some change. And I was like, what the hell? That's so expensive for 2 snacks. And I was like, in my mind, I was like, this is going to be $10. Maybe. $15 though for that. And I was like, damn, dude. And so like, it was in that moment that I was like, okay, inflation really has gotten wild. Like these are just like small goods, you know, these are not like staples or anything like that you would need to keep in your house, but still like they're expensive as hell to buy 2 little snacks. So that can recontextualize things for me. So in those moments, I'm like, wow, no, yeah, we're in a little bit of rough shape with the economy at the moment. But because of the way that I live, being very frugal and not really like spending a lot, not feeling like I need much, and being very good at automatically being like, I want that, I don't need it. And then I stop thinking about it as soon as I make the deduction that I don't need it. That like I almost never feel the effects of, oh, dude, cost of living is terrible right now. You know, like it's. I know we spend more money on rent now. We spend more money on bills and stuff now for like utilities and stuff. That's felt, but like I've always lived beneath my means, just because of how I grew up. So like even when I was working jobs that didn't pay very much, I was always like, I need to live in a way that allows me to save with whatever income I have. And this is the first time in my life as an adult that I haven't really been able to do that part of it very effectively. Like it's hard for me to save right now because I'm just on unemployment, and that's not very much income, but it's sustainable enough for what our lifestyle is right now. So like, but I'm not like dipping into my savings or anything like that because I still live beneath my means. And things are different now. I mean, I'm married and I've got Jen who like we work really well together with our finances, and we work really well together with our like spending and our budget, and like, you know, we communicate a lot and keep on top of that stuff. But you know, it's I guess what I'm saying in a very long-winded fashion is that I totally understand the point that you're making, Taka, because I feel the same way. It's been interesting over the last few years to hear everybody talk about the way that things are turning economically, and me being here being like, yep, I agree with you, but also I'm not feeling the weight of that very much, you know? Good jerky is, yeah, when you find it, it's amazing. It's worth every penny too, dude. I love it. Oh man, Adam, you'll get the Joker boss fight. Take your break, catch your breath, Get back at it. You'll take him down. I still can't believe that they put him in as a boss fight for the P3R DLC, man. It's so wild. $10 for a bag, and I was just like, never mind. Ghosty, just do it one day. Just do it one day just to try it. It's always worth it. It's a snack I don't buy very often because it's expensive, but like, oh man, I never regret a good jerky purchase. If you like meat anyway. If you don't, then, you know, maybe not, but god dang, dude. It's been my favorite snack since I was like 5. All right, did we just come out the other side of ads? It looks like we did. Sorry, I know I was being warned about them earlier, and we just got the talking, you know? Damn, are we finally at One Winged Angel? That got queued up a minute ago. Ghosty, did you watch some of that debate? It was something. It was better than the last debate, from what I heard. I didn't watch the last debate. I just saw some highlights, but I'm finally in a position where I feel like I want to vote. And some of y'all might be like, "Wait, you've never voted?" Like, I've never voted. I've never voted. I know it's terrible, but I've never felt. I've been so disillusioned by things politically throughout my life that it's never been something that I've gotten involved in. But something feels different right now. Something feels different right now. So this is the first time I've actually sat down and just like watched a debate as it was live. And I'm glad I did, because I feel like I needed to learn something about our or a little bit more about our candidates and where we're currently at. Yeah, it was a wild ride, man. I tell you what. Stop watching the debate when Homeboy said that we were executing babies after the 9th month. Oh, dude, the stuff that he was saying was outlandish, right? Holy crap! There were so many times, like in the early stages of that debate, I was just like, "What are you talking about?" And then like 40 minutes into it, like every time he talked, I just got exhausted, and I was just like, "Ugh." Like my eyes started glazing over, which sucked because I was trying to be. I mean, I know that I'm biased. But I was trying to be objective about the way that I was taking it in and like hear all of what they both were saying. And I mean, Kamala wasn't perfect either, but like, it was definitely clear who should have been at those podiums between the two of them. You know what I mean? Just in the way that they were speaking. And, yeah, I was pretty baffled, dude. I was pretty baffled at how that back and forth went on. It was, dude. Gibberish is the word for it. This is the word for it. There was one point, I think it was about an hour into the debate. I looked at Jen and I was like, you know what he reminds me of? And she was like, what? And I was like, listening to him talk reminds me of like the drunk boyfriend who is just mad for reasons you can't quite understand. Like, he's talking the way that drunk boyfriend would talk during an argument, where they're just exasperated and they can't like latch on to a cohesive thought or make a point to say what they're actually trying to say because they're just so frustrated at what is being said to them or what's happening around them. Like they haven't learned to take a breath before they talk. You know, that kind of, have anybody been engaged in that kind of conversation with the person before? It's very manic, you know? And witnessing it is, I don't even know how to describe the feeling. It's very uncomfortable to witness. Some of it's kind of sad. And that sounds very condescending. I'm not trying to like be that way. But it's like, you know, those are feelings that came up in me as I watched this play out. And those are feelings that have come up in me as I've watched other people just like lose their cool. And this is coming from a person who, like, in my younger years, lost his cool a lot, you know? Like, when I get mad even today, I I feel like I see myself that way, and I see myself like as it's happening, and I'm just like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? And maybe that's why it made me so uncomfortable to see him like talking the way that he was, where I was just like, dude, you just need to just take a breath. Just hold on for you don't need to respond to every single thing that is being said. Um so it was just, you know, it's kind of wild to think that our uh just I don't know. You grow up, you think about politicians and things like that, and you think that they're these great people, these people like that are like pinnacles or pillars in our society. They make big decisions. They deal with things that are above us, so that we can live good lives, hopefully. And like they know so much more than we do, and are so much more aware of the world, and they're our leaders. And then when you look at them and that's happening, it's like, whoa, it definitely like shatters the veil. You know what I mean? Um, so it's just not what it was whenever I used to think about adults in positions of power when I was growing up. Very weird. But yeah, I watched the whole thing. I'm glad I did too. Honestly, it's very very informative for all things considered. I don't remember how we got. Oh, we got there because we were talking about the Constitution Center and the wedding trip. That's right. That's right. But yeah, during that whole time, Jin and I kept being like, "Hey, we were there. Hey, that looks familiar." Like every time they showed the Constitution Center, it's kind of funny. Post the display thing on multimedia and Discord. Oh, for your laptop. I want to check it out. Let me see. The Asus ROG Zephyrus G14 LED array display. Oh. Okay. Let's take a look here. So it's like on the back of it, like these are the LED displays right here. And here. That's so cool. So wait, you can like change what the images are on here? Oh, that's so awesome. Oh my god. So you can like brand your laptop without putting stickers all over it and stuff. And then you can change it on the fly. That's the coolest thing, Clyde. That's so awesome. I'm a sucker for crap like that. It's so fun. Damn, I'm jelly. Look, what are we listening to right now? Is this Final Fantasy VIII? Oh, it's 6. This is a nice arrangement of Dancing Mad. Wow. Every time I listen to Dancing Mad, I think of how like similar it is to One Winged Angel, and how like Uematsu at the time was just like he was on his game, man. He was just making epic stuff for like a few games in a row. That was just top notch composition and arrangement, man. Good stuff. Good request. Yeah, it definitely is. I'm sorry, I'm catching up on some of your messages. I just read the one that Clyde says, great time to vote now. I think so too. That's crazy. I just registered to vote last month. Really? You too? This is the year for it, huh, I guess. Right on. Right on. Yeah, I'm gonna register this weekend. The deadline's coming up. I pushed it pretty far. I told my mom, I was like, I'm gonna vote this year. And she's like, well, it's about time. And I've had so many conversations with people about this too over the last couple of years. That I'm grateful to the people in my life not being like up my butt about it and letting me kind of like formulate my opinions and my thoughts on my own without being too terribly judgmental. I know that hasn't been the case for a lot of my peers. And some of my peers that I've talked to about it too have pressured me and been like, well, why don't you do it? And we've had conversations about that. And I've been grateful for all of those conversations, always made me think. But now I think I'm finally at a place where I'm like, yeah, it's the right time to do it. It's the right time to do it. You are really in a state where it matters, so I'm happy you are, says SW. Like, you're in an actual place where your vote could make a change. That's awesome. Pennsylvania? See, I don't understand the politics to the degree to understand, like, where votes carry more weight or less weight. But it sounds, I mean, you've talked politics about or with us a couple of times here, and I feel like you're someone who understands this stuff fairly well. Um, so great, man. Great. I'm hoping to make a difference with it, you know? Yeah, the eating the cats and dogs thing was wild. The 9 months abortion thing was wild. There was a lot of wild stuff that was said. One thing I wished is that, like, there were more answering of the questions that were being posed. But I understand what was going on there. You know, there was a game that was being played for sure during that debate, and the point that was trying to be made was like who was like competent enough to be in a leadership position, and how do we put that on display? I think that was the main goal, not really so much as to be like, here's what our plans are, which is, I wish that was the goal ultimately. But that's just not where we're at right now. We got to figure out how to get back to that in some way. We'll see what happens. We just got to get out of this period of chaos, man. It's been so crazy for the last 8 years. I'm ready for things to shift. I don't care for politics really either, Adam. We don't talk about them a lot here. This is like one of the few times I've ever talked about them on the stream, period, actually. And I'm being very careful to not go like into like detail or too much about that, because I don't really like that kind of conversation. I think it can be very divisive. But I do value conversation around tough subjects. And sometimes there's things in our world that are just like, they're politicized because there's issues that we care about. And there's things that are affecting us like individually, you know? So when that kind of stuff comes up, then we'll talk about it a little bit without going into details about like who we're supporting, who we're not supporting, or like what is right, what is wrong, that kind of stuff. But we do talk about ideals, and we do talk about like issues that are going on that are impacting us and our communities in very real ways. But I don't know. So somebody kind of changed the perspective in my mind one day, where I've always been one where I'm like, I don't do politics. I don't care about them. I don't talk about them. And my friend said, gosh, it was after I moved to PA. So within the last 5 years, my friend asked me like, well, what do you care about? And so I told him, I was like, well, I care about mental health. You know, I care about people having the right to be who they want to be accepted for who they are, and to have access to like the help that they need when they need it. You know, 'cause that's what got me through my mental illness whenever I was younger, and it was having that support. And he's like, okay. He's like, well, that's a political issue. And I was like, huh. He's like, if you care about anything, it's politics. And I just never thought about it that way before. And I was like, oh, damn. Well, then so everything's politics. So I guess I can't say I don't care about politics. I just don't like talking about them. You know? But he was right. It just changed the way that I viewed politics. So I think now when I'm like, I won't say that like I don't do politics or I don't care about politics. I'll say that I don't like to have rigorous political discussions. But because I like to care or to talk about life and the things that affect us in our life and the way we feel about those things, I do care about politics, because in some way that's political, you know? I guess anything could be traced back to politics in that way, but I just don't like to frame it in a political lens. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, you take the government away from anything, and we're still dealing with issues, right? So in my mind, we're just dealing with human issues here and talking through them, as we have always done with our communities. PA is one of those states where it's 50-50, blue and red. Oh, okay. Oh, that's very good to know. There's a fun fact I found out the other day that I didn't know. Freddie Mercury was Indian. Really? I had no idea. Wow, dude. The more you know. God dang, dude. Freddie Mercury had a hell of a voice. What a guy. Yeah. You feel similarly, Clyde? Yeah. I do appreciate y'all entertaining me talking about this a little bit. Um, like I said, it's not something I like to talk about all that often, but it just happened last night. I've been thinking about it. And I was like, man, I have a lot of feelings and thoughts about this. you know, I thought today I was like, I wonder if it'll come up, and it just inadvertently ended up coming up for other reasons. But yeah, I think it's important to stick up for what you believe in, chat. Whether you think about it as politics or not, I'm not going to tell you what to do ever, ever. Um, I think that you know best how to make decisions about your own life better than me, better than anybody else, because you're the one living it. Um, but you know, I've always held this belief that just in general, if you care about something, take your stance on it, believe in yourself, and be open to learn more all the time, no matter where you're at in life. Um, doesn't just apply to politics. I think it's just a good way to live. Um, it will help you connect more with other people. It'll help you see things in a way that is like you're receptive to information that's coming into you. Um, you're never going to be unbiased. Everyone always has bias. You just can't get around that. That's normal. Um, but you can take an objective approach to how you receive information in your life. And you'll have to filter through some bias and deal with that part of it. That's always going to be a part of it. But you can make sure you don't close yourself off to knowledge. And I think that's a really big key, especially nowadays. We get so like in these echo chambers of, you know, not to be vulgar or anything, but it feels like, we just a lot of us just been smelling our own farts for the last decade, we gotta open a window or something. We gotta step outside and be cool with, what might be out there, even if it's a little bit uncomfortable. Um, it's okay to do it. It's probably pretty good for us to do it too. I know the pandemic had played a large role in this too. The world feels a lot scarier than it used to, but it's okay, man. You're not gonna catch on fire or just like become a different person if you try to take in some new information. Even though I know that it can feel that way sometimes. Surround yourself with good people. You're in a good place for it here. We talk about stuff where like we have differing opinions on things quite often in this community. And like just the ability to be able to talk about those things, I think is very important. It's an art that I think has become lost in some corners of the world, including my own. It's very difficult to still be a person who voices their thoughts and tries to be sincere in conversations because we're so afraid of being judged by everybody. And more than that, I think we're afraid of what happens when we get judged by people. Like, what are they gonna do? How are they gonna react to me saying what I'm saying? Um, we gotta face into that, man. Be courageous. All right, be courageous. Challenge that fear because that's how we get past this moment in time right now. Just gotta talk to each other. Kitsune dances in spring. Oh, it sounds very graceful. What's going on, Kitsune? How are you doing today? It's jazz time for the Longolian. Oh my god. I'm ready for him to fall asleep again at the computer. SW said, I think disability discrimination and fighting for my rights set me on a path where I was going to become political whether I intended to or not. I found myself in the same position, SW. For almost the same reasons, you know. Not the same specific reasons, but my mental illness being a disability that I had to fight through, and it made me very different in the way that I engaged with the world growing up. I had to learn a lot about what my rights were in that, and what I could or couldn't do, and what was okay as far as fair treatment was concerned, and like, I that was It's an uphill battle in a lot of ways. And ironically, even though I learned went through a lot of that stuff as a kid, I didn't learn until almost my 30s, like how politically charged that stuff was. You know what I mean? I think my eyes really opened to it once I worked in my previous job where I was doing a lot of policy advocacy and advocating for mental health, like fair mental health practices, access to care, and for people who were in long-term recovery from their mental illness or substance use disorder. And the work that I did there, I was like, dude, everything we do links back to some legislature in some way. That's what we're really trying to affect. And I was like, damn it, I hate that. But also, that's how we try to make a difference, I guess, you know? If I want to make a difference in a way that's like outside of my just local community. And I just never really like opened myself up to being bigger than that until that job, I guess. I still don't think, I will say this, I still don't think it's a requirement to do right, to do good. If you want to benefit your community, you don't have to get involved in politics. Okay, there's so many ways for you to just like be a good person and care about the people that you love and enrich your community just by being good to them, caring about them and tending to their needs, you know, whether it's your neighbor, and you try to like check in on them, see if they're okay, or you share food, or, you know, remembering birthdays, paying attention to things that are important to people, you know, all that stuff makes a big difference and it can have far reaching impacts. If you're not the person that wants to, you know, get involved with things that are on a larger scale, you don't have to. If you want to, that's great. If you don't want to, that's also great. Just strive to be a good person that tries to improve the world in your own way, whatever that is, because it's improving it for you and it's improving it for people around you. And that makes everybody work together better. That's what it's about, man. Where that drive comes from, I think, is the important thing. But what if I like to smell my farts? Asked Clyde. Well, don't let me stop you, okay? You are allowed to like to smell your farts, I guess, if that's what you want to do. Everybody in the chat now being like, wait a minute. We're allowed to say that we like to smell our own farts. I thought it was just me. Yeah, you know who you are, okay? Don't deny it. Uh-oh. Thank you. I just got off work about an hour ago. Cool, Kitsune. How was work today? You've been following since 2016. Yo, oh my god. I know that you must have had a different name. When I see the name Kitsune, it rings a funny little bell in my head. The Kitsune part of your name has been the same, right? What's surrounding it is probably what has changed. Or am I wrong on this? I feel like that's the case, though. Nothing like the smell of sulfur in the morning. Oh my gosh. Oh, so okay, then maybe it was another Kitsune. Yeah, you can hit follow age if you want. That's cool. It's always nice to see
Vince,
old friends
we all
come
know
back.
you like to rip a gassy one in the sheets and give it a little whiff to smell the home cooking kappa.
We all know that I can't cook, okay? I almost burned down our apartment when I'm cooking tacos, apparently. Damn it, Mr. Moogle. Trying to cause a hubbub today. Poor shit. Hey. We know that everybody over here farting it up in their house, okay? My house is no different. All right? My old name was Sun Priestess Emmy. Oh, that sounds real familiar. Wow. That's awesome. What when you came in, you said 2014? Is that when you say you came in? 2016. What were we playing in 2016? Let's see. That's around Overwatch days, I think. Maybe even Undertale times. I Am Setsuna comes to mind. Oh yeah, it's stinky up in here. We love it. We all need to have Clyde level of energy, man. It's so funny. Speak for yourself, Taco Burner. I am. Okay, I am. Song reminds me of an old anime, but sung in Arabic. This is Eyes on Me from Final Fantasy VIII. I think this is the ending theme, right? Undertale was around 2016. Okay, yeah. Undertale, the release of Undertale was probably around 2014. Yeah, I think it was 2014. But I didn't get around to it for a while. SW said that comment reminded me of this funny interaction between two dogs I had as a kid. We were all watching the movie, and then I hear a fart rip from the other room. And then that dog fart smell wafted into the living room, and that dog that did it tried to sneak out of the dining room in shame. But our other very polite, non-violent dog stood up and growled at her like, no, you go back in there and think about what you've done to us all. So she circled back around and went to lay at ground zero. Oh no! Oh no! Even poochies can feel booty shame. Oh no! That's so funny, dude. Listen, man, dog farts are on a whole other level, all right? They can be catastrophic. Like house evacuation levels of disaster that unfold after one of them rips across the room. Like, oh my God. It's so bad sometimes. Oh man, is this Final Fantasy IX now? Hell yeah, dude. We got good jams going right now. Song Request Day has definitely been a success. I'm loving it. I don't remember for the life of me, said Kitsune. I know it wouldn't be Overwatch, unless I was a raider host, because I didn't like Overwatch. And same for Undertale. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we were playing back then. 2016 seems a little bit late for Final Fantasy Type 0. But might be right on cue for Final Fantasy Tactics. I played a lot of Warframe back then. Gosh, what else did I play back then? I dabbled in a lot of stuff. We were definitely embracing our variety culture, you know? Man, when did Outlast come out, actually? When did Outlast come out? That feels like that might have been... Oh, that might have been a little bit later than Outlast, actually, huh? I was obsessed with that game for a minute. We played a lot of Outlast. Witcher 3. We played Witcher 3 around then. Yeah, 2015. Yeah. Booty shame. Oh, yeah, Clyde, I'd love to listen. Main things I joined streams for back then, said Kitsune, was Zelda, Danganronpa, or Corpse Party, and never got sick of seeing people play those. I think I only played, the only Zelda I've ever played on stream was a little bit of Twilight Princess. And that also might have happened around that time, now that I'm thinking about it. I think I've streamed Twilight Princess maybe twice. That was it. That was pretty fun. I wonder if that's when you came in. Danganronpa, though, that reminds me, did you follow someone named Riley Rex? They were another streamer. Oh, dude, SW, that sounds terrible, dude. That sounds so bad. I love dog interactions like that, said Taco. One of my sister's old dogs, Logan, would always snitch on his sister when she broke stuff or lifted stuff up. And he's always got into fights over it. Dogs got drama, man. It's not just us. Adam, why is this song special to you? Out of curiosity. It's a beautiful song. It's one of my favorite from the soundtrack. Every day of the week basically had its own game for a while. I know, man. We had a bunch of different series too. Y'all remember the Materia slot? Anything that was like a turn-based RPG fell into Materia slot territory. We had like a horror game day, which was always very fun. We had the multiplayer game with Warframe and just multiplayer games played on Wednesdays. Minecraft was on the channel for a while. Yeah, we played all kinds of stuff. We did all kinds of stuff back then. We used to play a lot of Rocket League, which is funny to think about nowadays. Outlast came out in 2013. Okay, so I played that much earlier. I'm waiting for Outlast Trials till nighttime. Oh no. Oh no, Reeves. It's gonna be savage, dude. I can't wait. I can't wait for Outlast Trials. That's probably it. I love Twilight Princess. Oh, there we go. See? We just had to list games for a while until we found it. Yeah, Twilight Princess kicks ass, man. I love that game. I must have played through it about 3 or 4 times, which I cannot say the same about every Zelda game. I mean, I've always loved every Zelda game that I've played for the most part. Four Swords Adventures didn't really do a lot for me, but almost every other one I really liked. And Twilight Princess was probably like my favorite of all of them, except for Ocarina of Time. Actually, I probably like that more than Ocarina of Time because I like Majora's Mask more than Ocarina of Time, but I like Twilight Princess more than Majora's Mask. But I played Ocarina of Time the most. Now I'm thinking about it, of any other Zelda. So it'd be Twilight Princess, played the most, Ocarina of Time, and then maybe Oh. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, dun. I love this song. Thank you, whoever requested Otherworld. Hell yeah. Anyway. Yeah, all the Zelda love. Hell yeah, dude. I'll cry. Have to mute stream. Outlast freaks me out something fierce. Does it really, Taka? I am so surprised to learn this for some reason. Oh, why did that make me more excited? Hold tight, man. Hold something tight. Hold someone close. It's gotta be okay. All right, you're gonna be okay. Search the name and nothing. Okay, I was just curious. Anytime I think of Danganronpa, I think of her. She played a lot of Danganronpa, and I clicked with her community a lot, and it would have been around that time period. Might have been a little bit earlier though. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, earlier than 2016. I think we lost her in 2015. I can't totally remember. Cankles. Oh no. Final Fantasy IX is special to my special someone. Oh, that's really sweet, Adam. I think it's so cool to be able to link video games to people that you cherish or memories that you cherish. I expect it of songs, but there's something special when it's both a song and a video game. I want Nintendo to port Twilight Princess to Switch, but I guess they hate money. Tell that to whoever prices their first-party games. I really want to get into Zelda games, says Clyde, but I don't know where to play them unless I have a Nintendo device. I don't know. I mean, I'm not going to encourage you to do anything illegal. But there are other options out there. Options that I don't know much about. Pretend we never had this conversation. Nintendo is a little consumer hostile at best sometimes. You said it. You said it. Wi-Fi, please. I'm actually begging you. Stop these disconnecting shenanigans. Chat, we need to save the Longolians' interwebs. You picking up what I'm putting down, Clyde? You know. I had a friend who was like so diehard against Nintendo's business practices that he just like not only straight up refused, but like he would go on crusades trying to get other people to not buy Nintendo games, and to emulate everything. And I was like, man, I get it, but like, you're putting your whole butt into this campaign, man. It got to the point where I was like, I don't even want to say the word Nintendo in the presence of this guy. Because he would just go off for like half an hour about it every time. People, stop hating on money. What's she done to them? She's done a few things. Dun, 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 bow, down, down, bump, 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 bump. You know, this album took a long time to grow on me whenever it first came out. But damn. It's such a heavy-hitting album. Whoever requested this just activated all my neurons. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Wait, can I see who requested it? I think I can. Adam requested it. Adam's just summoning all the bangers today, man. Only thing I've done is be a silly little lesbian. That is one of the things that you've done. And you've done it tremendously well. Give yourself more credit, Ghosty. You're capable of more. I'm not saying that Simu, Ryujinx, and Dolphin are terms that you could Google combined with the word emulator for more information, but I'm not either. Just saying, he's not saying, okay? All right? Fun fact, Hail to the King is my villain's theme. Oh, is it really? That's pretty cool. I always felt like Hail to the King could be a wrestler intro as well. Like, picture it. Picture like you've got like the hero standing in the ring, right? And then like, they're saying their piece or whatever. They're getting the fans riled up. They're waiting for the challenger to come out, and they look out down the runway, and like the lights come on, whoosh, and then like there's sparks, and then Hail of the King starts playing. You get that like just that intro riff, right? And then they start walking out like as the vocal kicks in. People are booing, people are cheering. Oh, dude, that would be it's like such a mood. I'm so ready for my SFX, says Dark Reaper. Ooh. Heck yeah, dude. I'll get them going for you by next stream for sure. For sure. Wait a second. Did you just get a 1 hour later? Oh, that's a good one. Okay, so the sound effects that you've purchased today, are all of these fanfares, or are they sound effect surprises? Because I've missed them when they've come in. Are we allowed to have more than one SFX? Yeah. Totally can. The Chaos theme. Oh, you know what you need to get? Speaking of Final Fantasy Dissidia, the greatest PSP game of all time, Dissidia Duodecim 012 Final Fantasy. We need the freaking final boss theme from Dissidia Duodecim. We need to get that in here. Get that in here. Get the full version, too. That's such a cool song, dude. SpongeBob where? We have... Hit us with the SpongeBob, Reaps. He's going to start flooding our channel with it.
ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm ready, ready, ready.
One's a fanfare and two are sound effect surprises. Okay, you'll have to specify each just in case for me, so I don't get them mixed up. And I'll make sure that they come in this they'll have to be this evening. That series on PSP was solid. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I don't think I played any other PSP game as much as I played the Dissidia series. And I played like a lot of other stuff. I put so much time into Crisis Core alone. But Dissidia was one that, like, dude, I played that game for so many years. I just loved them. PSP had some games. We didn't know how good we had it as kids. I know. Third Birthday was on the PSP. Everyone crapped on it because they're like, it's not a Parasite Eve game. I agree. But it was still really cool. A little racy, maybe. But like, pretty cool. Loved that game, man. There's some great stuff on PSP. They did a really good job with that little portable console. Better than they did with the Vita. Even though the Vita had more games and was such a good device, dude. The Vita was awesome. They just massively under-delivered on support of it. Like, they just didn't market it very well. The PSP had an excellent marketing campaign that went along with it. Commercials were really fun for that. Vita was, it was pretty lackluster in marketing, in terms of marketing. And then, like, the games on it, there was like so many PS3 games that you could get on it, which was awesome. And the ability to emulate on it was really good. And like the device's capabilities itself was excellent. The form factor was really good too. The feature set on it was awesome. But it just like, Sony just like didn't support it very well. And I'm not really sure why. There wasn't a lot of like great games that were developed for it. But we did get Persona 4 Golden on it, and that was pretty stellar. Enjoyed that a lot. Ragnarok Odyssey was also really cool. I just wish that they paid more attention to it. Am I the only one who remembers the built-in math games on the Nintendo DS's? The built-in math games. Why am I not remembering this? I had each iteration of the Nintendo DS. Because I'm a brat. I was poor, but I was a brat. Being a single child and having a grandpa who really wanted to hang out with you all the time did me a lot of favors in that department. I don't remember the math games though. It's like a nut you can play with outside. The squirrels, dude. The squirrels. God, what a great time for commercials in general. SW says, to be honest, my most played games on there was Tekken 5, Dark Resurrection, and Tekken 6 maybe. There was so much good stuff on there of many, many genres. And yes, that hacked custom PSP software made so much possible. Dude, for real. I took advantage of that too because that was the only way I was able to play Dissidia online with people. You had you had this like ad hoc party, and I think there was some jailbreaking you had to do with that to make the app work and stuff. And that was the only thing that I was ever really like that motivated to figure out how to do that stuff with at that time. But I was like, I have to be able to play this with other people that I don't know because I don't know anybody who plays this game. I didn't actually play Tekken on there. I remember playing Patapon on there. I remember Daxter. Played that on there. They had a GTA game on there that I had as well for some reason, even though I wasn't like a huge GTA fan. I think I had the Midnight Club racing game on there. The Need for Speed. I think it was it Outlaws? that was on there. Outlaw or Most Wanted? I think it was Outlaw. What else did they have on there that I played a lot? I had some weird, like, niche, obscure stuff, like Nights in the Nightmare. I don't know if anybody remembers that game, but I had that game. I had Dragoneer's Aria, which was like, it reminded me of like Champions, Return to Arms or something like that, like old D&D style games, like or D&D like ARPG kind of games. That was a cool one. Vice City, I remember that. I never had that game, but I had a friend who had it, and every time I went to see him, we would play it. I did hang out with a friend that played San Andreas a lot, though, and that was the only GTA game I really liked playing. There's something about that. It had a lot of charm. It was just silly and fun, and at the time, it was mechanically sound, you know? Need for Speed Burnout was a trip. Yeah. Yeah, or not Need for Speed. Is that what you're saying? Yeah, Need for Speed Burnout. Burnout is another franchise that was really, really good. Didn't they have one of them on the PSP as well? Or what was the first party racing game that they had on the PSP? Wipeout. Wipeout was on there. That was pretty good too. Oh, really? That's cool. Yeah, that's a solid game, man. That's a solid entry into the franchise too. I think a lot of people played that one first. I still remember playing GTA 1 though. Like my mom had a friend when I was a kid. They had a PS1, and I remember his place specifically because every time we went over there, he was always watching South Park, and he was always like had someone in the house was always playing GTA in the background, and he also had Final Fantasy VII, and that was my first time experiencing a game like Final Fantasy VII. But he had like the Game Shark, so like I experienced the debug room in Final Fantasy VII at that time, and that was like one of my early memories with Final Fantasy VII. I didn't have a PS1 at the time. I didn't have anything like that that was modern. I had like an old NES and an Atari 2600 and a Virtual Boy and a Game Boy. But I remember being so excited to go to this person's house because I was like, I want to play the PlayStation. It was those two games. And so it's funny, like anytime I think of the original GTA, I think of Final Fantasy VII's debug room and I think of South Park. At one point, because I was a naive child, I thought that Grand Theft Auto and South Park were part of the same thing because it was on the same TV. And my little kid brain just like made the association at the time. I got really confused later on when we were watching South Park and GTA stuff wasn't happening. It's kind of funny. Dealing with these changes. Dealing with these changes. This is freaking reggae System of the Down. This is the best. In me. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. Get up, come on, get down with the sickness. This is such a vibe, man. A lot of love for San Andreas here, man. That's what's up. That's what's up. Vice City's closer in date to the 80s, which is it was based around then to now. Boy, howdy. I can relate to Jin. I keep losing my copies of Banjo-Kazooie because of it. Wait, really? Wait, hold on. I missed a comment. So big on San Andreas, but I used to be so bad at disc preservation, so they kept getting crushed. Oh, man. Yeah, that sucks. I remember being bad at disc preservation at one point in my life, but like I was in grade school. And I think once I got a PS2, there was I really wanted a copy of Heart of Darkness, and I had it at one point.
Hey!
and then it got wrecked. Like, it just got scratched all to hell, and it wouldn't play anymore. And then I couldn't find it after that. And my experience trying to find it solidified in me that, like, I should probably take care of my discs. And so then I became obsessive about caring for my discs after that. Oh, it's almost 6 o'clock. Almost 6 o'clock, and then it's ads, and then it's trivia. Oh yeah, dude. Oh yeah. Are you guys ready for trivia? Oh my god, I'm so stoked. I'm so stoked. You went through like 7 copies of Kingdom Hearts 2 because of it. Oh no. Oh no. That's the worst. I went through 3 copies of Final Fantasy VII and 2 copies of Legend of Dragoon because of it. And I rebought those games when they were way too expensive for what they should be. Ugh. I feel your pain. I'm so sorry. So I had a... Does anybody like the Grandia franchise? It's not a franchise that really comes up anymore because they've just not made a new one in a long, long time. But Grandia was one of my favorite JRPGs growing up, and I was really into the series, so I always bought the new ones that came out. Grandia 3 is my favorite one, right next to the first Grandia, and which is weird, I know, because a lot of people like Grandia 2, which is a great game, but there's just something special about the first and the third one to me. And I think I love the music in the third one quite a lot, but I bought Grandia 3 times. And the last time I bought it, I couldn't believe I found it in the store, for one thing. I was like, immediately I snatched it up. Like, this is awesome. Grandia 3, hell yeah. I started playing it like the same day. And then I was in a relationship at that time in my life where, you know, like, it wasn't the best of relationships, but at the time we were playing PS2 for a little bit, just for retro days and stuff like that. And then we stopped playing PS2 for years. Yeah, I think I already responded to it, Reaps. And like, what you call it? What was I saying? Oh, we packed away the PS2 and put it in storage. And then, like, fast forward to now, and I still have, like, Grandia 3 up on the shelf. But I went to go play it, like, a couple years ago, and I opened up the case, and I only have Disc 2 of Grandia 3. Disc 1 is somewhere in my ex's PS2, wherever the hell that is, back in Albuquerque. And I'm so sad about it. I'm so sad about it. I had to buy that game yet again. Oh. I was so disappointed, guys, because the day that I was like, I'm going to play this game again. I love this game. And I picked up the case. I was like, yeah, here we go. Got my PS2 all hooked up. Opened it up and went, oh. And we have a couple PS2s, so I was like, maybe it's in one of mine. Not in one of mine. I opened up every other PS2 jewel case that I had too. Not in there either. I was like, I can't believe this. So sad. So sad. But I will get my hands on it again. I have to. Chameleon Karma, welcome back, buddy. Welcome back. Nothing like putting games back in the wrong box. I didn't even put it in the wrong box. We just left it in the PlayStation, man. I left it in the PS2. I'm really good about putting games in the right box. I'm actually really anal about it. Ask Jen. She messes with me sometimes by saying that she put games in the incorrect case because she knows it'll make me upset. And then she laughs because she got me. She'll get me every time too, man. Yeah, it's in one of their PS2s. They might not even know either. That's the part that makes me sad. Jen, why? Jen's not bad about it, but she did it one time and I made a big stink about it. And so now she just messes with me about it because of that. I brought it on myself. Damn, this is a bop. I am pumped too. Trivia's coming up right after this ad break, guys. 2 minutes. 2 minutes until the break. I do recommend that during this break, everybody get up and stretch their legs. Some of y'all have been here with me for the whole stream, and we are 7 hours deep now. Can you believe that? We've been here for 7 hours today. When has that happened last? I don't even feel like it either. That's the wild part to me. This has been so awesome. It's awesome, dude. What a good day. We still got so much fun left, too. There's 4 more hours of stream left. But actually, wait a second. If that says 7 hours, something doesn't add up. Right? No, I'm thinking about it wrong. We still do have 5 hours left. Okay. I got the number 11 in my head for some reason. I was like, that doesn't add up. That would be 10. Don't mind me. Anybody who's just coming in, hasn't been hanging with us through the event, though, type in ! Gil. Oh, it's squats time. Oh my God. I'm going to squats before the break. But type in ! Gil, type in ! Shop, and check out the graphics below the video player for the Gil shop. We are running the Gil for the Koopa though event right now, and this is our first community day of the event. Yeah, just check all that stuff out. You're gonna be able to spend your Gil one last time for 3 weeks. Don't want to miss it. All right, squats, carry me home. Ugh. Oh my God. Man, my legs are going to be so swole after this event. Okay. Let's go. It's ad time, everybody. Enjoy the break. We'll be back here in a few minutes with our first trivia session. Thanks for tuning in. See you in a few.